What up, everybody? Welcome to Mr. Suburbia. Today I got a whole lot of stuff I want to talk about. It's going to be a multi-day video. First and foremost, I've had a lot of changes go on since I've done filming the last time. I think the last video I did on my truck was that I was dropping it off for a surprise mod. And I got the mod. When I picked up the truck, it was actually the day I picked up my truck. I started noticing some really funny sounds coming out of the exhaust on my turbo, and so I've been doing a lot of stuff to try to figure out what's going on there. But before I get into all that, I'll show you the surprise mod, which I'm sure a lot of you had already guessed was a 6-inch lift, and I have some 20 by 12 wheels. These are the Raceline 930 DMs, negative 44 offset, and they have like a tint to them, almost like a bronzing on the spokes. I have some pictures that I'll show you in better light on Instagram and so forth. And then I went with the Toyo Open Country Rough Terrain 37 1250 tires. I chose these tires because I wanted something that was really aggressive, but I didn't want to go mud terrain because I wanted the tires to last me longer than a mud terrain tire does. I also didn't want all the road noise, but these tires here are really aggressive, but they also have more tread surface than the mud terrain. For my lift kit, I went with the Zone 6-inch lift kit, radius arm lift kit. So instead of some kits which have the drop down bracket for the stock radius arms, these actually just had brand new radius arms, and they're nice big beefy radius arms. I really like them. And I have upgraded coil, upgraded shocks, and all the brackets to drop down, steering lines and everything else. And then in the back, it's just a block with upgraded shocks. All in all, extremely happy with the lift kit. I think the truck looks awesome. It is humongous. And I would love to do a better feature on the lift, and that's kind of why I haven't made a video. Literally the day I went to pick up the wheels and tires, driving over there, noticed some weird stuff going on with my turbo. So the lift kit took about 2 weeks for them to get installed from when I dropped it off. They actually lost a radius arm in the mail, which is insane, but what can you do? Put you down with this roll of paper towels here. Excuse my I have really bad allergies. I'm drinking some coffee, sweet Star Wars cup. Hopefully that helps. Anyway, like I was saying, they lost a radius arm in the mail. They went to put the lift on. They had the whole front end torn apart, and there was only one radius arm in the box. They said the box was ripped open and the radius arm was gone, so I don't know what happened there. And then they were waiting for the wheels to come in. Well, they got one wheel, 4 hubcaps, and all lug nuts. So they called Raceline. Raceline was like, oh yeah, we had to ship 2 from Texas and 2 from California. You got 1 from Texas. I don't know where the other 3 are. So the wheels actually took 3 weeks for Raceline to locate and get in, and that's one of the reasons why my videos have been so delayed. I just haven't had anything to make a video on, on the surprise mod. And then when I finally got my truck done, I had problems with it, and I didn't just want to be like, yeah, my truck's making a funny sound, guys, and I don't really know what's going on, so yeah. Anyway, done a lot of kind of in here troubleshooting, listening to the truck, driving it, and basically the symptoms are that I had a 5 mile per gallon mileage dump on my fuel. So it's where I was at 18 mpg, and now I'm at 13. And also, and I know some of that's from the wheels, but not that much. And then also a ton of boost lag at low RPMs. Power loss like crazy. I actually had it on performance tune for a long time and went back to stock, and then stock was unbearable to drive in. Still rolling a ton of coal. So right now I have it on a tow tune, a 50 horsepower tow tune. And again, no custom tunes because, as you remember, the tuner, it doesn't have a legit serial number. Anyway, so I got it on this tow tune, and it's just the truck's running like ass. So anyway, what I went ahead and did is I bought this turbo here off of Craigslist for 120 bucks from this guy, and it's in really good condition. It's just dirty. So, but everything, you know, all the housing, the bearings, the shaft, the turbine. So this is your hot exhaust turbine here. All the housing and everything looks awesome. It's just real dirty. So compressor wheel. What I went ahead and did was order a $120. No, I'm sorry, a $40 turbo rebuild kit from Turbo Lab. And I'm going to put that in here, get this turbo real cleaned up, and then put this turbo, just a stock 6.0 Ford turbo, back in this truck, and then take that turbo out, take it apart, see what was going on, probably clean that one up, rebuild it, and sell it. So it's going to be a project. I've never taken the turbo out. Taking this turbo apart here was fairly easy, but taking the turbo out of the truck, from what I understand, is a hard part. So anyway, this video is going to go basically into, not a whole lot into the work behind it. I'm going to try to film what I can because I'm also going to be watching YouTube videos, you know, on how to do this stuff. But basically, I'm going to take this weekend and kind of try to get these turbos swapped out, get this one rebuilt, get the new one, get it into the truck, and get the old one out and taken apart to see what was going on. And just so you guys have a little bit of background on the turbos, here is your unison ring of the turbo. And what this does is it turns inside this housing here. You have these vanes. I'm trying to touch this stuff as minimally as possible right now because my hands are going to get freaking filthy. And these vanes sit in here like so, all the way around the turbo. And these little notches here sit in these little notches right here. And then this here is swiveled by this guy here. So that little thing, this little gear head or whatever, sits inside that notch, and when it opens and closes by the actuator, the VGT actuator, it spins this ring and it opens these vanes in or out. Sometimes what happens is either these things get so carboned and dirty that it's just nasty in there and stuff's not working right, air's not flowing correctly, or this notch right here kind of gets ovaled out, so you're not getting that full open enclosure of the VGT, the vanes, and therefore you have boost problems. I'm hoping it's something as simple as that. I'm really hoping it's a turbo that's causing my problems. If I take this all apart and I have a cracked up pipe, then I'll be sourcing a night pipe or, you know, something, and trying to figure out what to do from there. But anyway, this is where I'm starting. So I'm gonna get this turbo rebuilt here, and I gotta run up to the auto parts store. Oh, before I take off though, we did trade in the Suburban. We outgrew the Suburban. A family of six kids, you know, and us, so 8 people outgrew the Suburban, and we got ourselves a Ford Transit van. This is a 15-passenger 2015 Ford Transit van, and it's a twin turbo. That's the twin turbo V6 EcoBoost motor. So I'm proud to say that I got nothing but Fords here at the house now. Not that I'm a huge Ford fanboy, but I do like being uniform with all my Fords. My work truck out there, and I believe this is locked. Yes, it is. And we'll do a tour of the van later. But the thing is humongous, as you can see here. It's just about as long as my truck. Alright guys, well, I thought I'd give you a quick update on the rebuild process on the turbo. I got the turbine wheel, shaft, bearings, and compressor wheel housing assembly all put back together. Looks really good. I cleaned all this up really well with some with some engine degreaser, brake clean. I mean, I use a mixture of stuff, but then, you know, I made sure I ended up with engine degreaser and wiped it down really well. Blew everything out. But it's nice and smooth here, as you can see. There's not a whole lot of carbon buildup at all. The wheel's pretty clean. It's nice and oily, so when I start up my truck, I'm going to get a nice big black smoke. My unison ring controller is nice and smooth. Everything's just looking fantastic and nice and wet. I'm just waiting on my wife to come back. She went to get her nails done. She also picked up some high-tech anti-seize, which I forgot. Then I can get this VGT all reassembled here. And then in here, I got my intake out. I disconnected the degas bottle here, have it up out of the way. I also popped this guy off. So I got all my intake tubes off. I'm gonna work on my the rest of my intake cack tube. I don't know if I'm gonna take my cack off. I like my cack staying on, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, I'm gonna work on that, and then I'll touch base with you guys in a bit. This is the first time I've done it, so I'll probably be filming this kind of like that, where I just do updates along the way. As far as the rebuild on the internals of the turbo, I didn't do the complete rebuild. I didn't have anything to get this guy out of here, so because this VGT actuator is sliding so smooth in here, I didn't even mess with it. My main concern was the bearings. I'll wipe this oil up here. My main concern was the bearings, but for the video I used to rebuild the turbo was Turbo Lab of America. They have a YouTube channel, and they're actually the ones that sell this kit. And so he goes, it's a pretty simple video, nothing too intense, and he just kind of walks you through where to put all these parts in your turbo once you have it apart. There's other videos on there that show you how to take the turbo apart. And anyway, so I'm going to get back to work, and I'll touch base with you afterwards. Whoo, baby, it's hot as shit out here, and I got the turbo out. There she is. There she is. The fins are pretty munched, which I saw that when I pulled the intake boot off a while ago, a couple weeks ago. She's filthy. I know you can't really see too well. Now that I have this thing apart, and I'm spinning the, if I spin the compressor wheel, I can feel, and when I pull this whole thing, when I pull this housing apart, I'll show you on the turbine wheel, but the bearings are definitely shot or something, but it spins real easy than hard. Real easy than hard. So I'm thinking at the very least the bearings are shot, and then I have a ton of buildup in here. So just judging by what I'm feeling here, I'm guessing that VGT system is pretty dirty and probably seasoned up on me as well. Anyway, guys, that was a pain in the ass to get off of here. I have one nut somewhere down in here. One nut that's lost. I'm gonna be looking for it. But yeah, that turbo. The getting the bolts off of the pedestal weren't that bad, as long as you, there's a video if you just Google 6.0 Powerstroke turbo removal. It's the very first video that comes up on YouTube or the Google search results, and he tells you exactly what size of everything to use as far as extension goes, and sockets and wrenches and yada yada yada. Following that, the turbo pedestal bolts came off pretty easily. The thing that didn't come off or out easily was a turbo, and I don't know why, it didn't want to come out easily at all. It took me a while. I had my knee here and another knee there, and I don't know, I've been there like a gremlin trying to get this turbo out of here. What a pain in the ass. But, you know, regardless, it's the first time I've taken a turbo out of a truck, and I'm pretty happy. So I'm going to get this, finish getting a new turbo put back together, and then I'll try to get this guy in here tonight. I don't know that I'm gonna spend all night tonight putting this turbo in. I might do it tomorrow, and then after that, as you can see on the ground here, I got quite a bit of coolant that's came out of my truck. So when I took off the degas bottle, I lost quite a bit, and I'll have to replenish that before I drive this, obviously. But I'm excited to get this turbo in here and take it for a drive, see how my truck runs now. My truck hasn't been right for so long. It's about to be really great. So anyway, guys, I'll touch back with you soon. All right, guys, I just want to touch real quick because I'm about to put this this guy back together. I want to show you the VGT on this turbo, just in case you've never seen one. And I went ahead and put some anti-seize all over this unison ring here, as well as underneath the VGT vanes. I'm not sure how necessary that is. I know you don't want those seizing up, so I just went ahead and put some anti-seize on there, and I'm sure any excess is just going to burn up and go out my exhaust anyway. But that's how that works. Those VGTs, those little vanes have those slots on them, and they sit inside this unison ring, and as that ring turns, it opens and closes those vanes. So you can hear the anti-seize. I also went ahead and put some anti-seize just around here a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and wipe this excess off of here. Towel and wipe that off. And then I just got to line this up with that little hole in there and put it all back together, and should be good. I'll be getting this turbo back together. Don't think I'm going to put it in tonight. But anyway, yeah, there we go. Well, guys, as you can see here, these turbine blades are munched. So that's what was causing my funny whistle, for sure. And then I pulled the VGT vanes out of here, and they are super pitted. So something came out of my exhaust, my engine, and bounced around in here and just chewed all this stuff up and fried this turbo. So the only way I'm going to be able to rebuild this turbo and sell is if I buy a whole new turbine with the rod bearings. It's a pricier rebuild kit, so I just got to weigh the options and figure out if it's going to be worth it for me to rebuild this guy and sell it, or just call it as a loss. Guys, well, she's all back together. Not gonna pop it. Well, I'll pop it real quick. Take a look. Doesn't look much different than it does stock, but there she is. When I was putting this back together, I was leaning up here and I broke the clips for that, so I'll have to be jimmy rigging that pretty soon, but for now it's going to rest there. Something just fell in there. One sec. Pull for it. Since I lifted my truck, it's a lot harder for me to close the hood because I'm a very short guy. I mean, I'm not very short, but you know what I'm saying. The turbo is back in. It was a tight squeeze getting her back in. The hardest part of the install was definitely putting the turbo back in the truck. Second hardest was getting the turbo out. I know you would think that sounds obvious, but honestly, before I started the project, I thought the hardest part was going to be rebuilding the turbo. All right, I'm trying to speak up. I know some of you guys were saying that I'm pretty quiet. My videos are hard to hear. I'm looking into a miking apparatus for the GoPro. So far, I haven't done much looking just because funds have been pretty tight. But the search is on, and I will, in the meantime, try to speak up so you can hear me a little bit better. So other than the first drive I did around the block, this is the first time I'm actually taking the truck out. Now that I've the coolant, like I was saying, was real low, so I just went and stopped, got a gallon of Chevron Dalo ELC, which is the same coolant that Leadham's used when they did the work to my truck. So I just wanted to replace like for like. I just ran by Leadham's, showed those guys a picture of the turbine off the old turbo. Greg Budwine there, he's the owner. He was telling me his theory is that one of my fins broke off inside that turbo and basically banged everything up in there, but the turbo got so hot and one of the fins broke off and just shredded the rest of the turbine, and the EGT veins, or the VGT veins, I'm sorry. Anyway, you know, they were all pretty interested in how I got the whole turbo installed for 180 bucks. So I'm just going to do a quick little drive because I want to end this video. I know it's already going to be a long one, but I wanted to show you guys, kind of experience it together. Tell you right away, this thing is running a whole lot better. I'm still not up to full operating temperature yet. I get my tuner up and going into the gauges on my tuner. I'll get those started. Sorry, just got off work, a little space brain, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, huge difference so far in the truck, the way it runs. I'm not going to do too much driving with it until I get the oil changed. I have 5 quart jugs, actually I'm sorry, 4 or 5 quart jugs sitting in the garage right now, and I'll be changing that oil. I'm not going to do the oil filter, and just because I read on Bulletproof Diesel's site, a bunch of forums, that Bulletproof Diesel, with the oil cooler that I have on there, they say it's every 10,000 miles for the filter and every 5,000 miles for the oil change. It's been 4,000 miles since I've had the work done to my truck, and you know, just judging by when I took the turbo off and I saw some of the oil there, it was pretty filthy. So I figured just swapping that oil out for now would be good. All right, guys, now I am up to normal operating temps. So I'm going to go ahead and get on it here and let you hear it. Guys, something else I did want to bring up is that when my turbo was bad, I was boosting like 40 pounds of boost. Maybe not 40, but 30 to 40 pounds of boost with the 40 horsepower tow tune, or 50 horsepower tow tune that I've got on here right now, which is an absolute huge amount of boost. Should not have been that way at all. And right now my boost is back down to 25 when I'm wide open throttle, which is normal for that too. So another thing, if you're having overly high boost, you want to check is your exhaust back pressure too and sensor. It's real easy to get to, you know, and I'll show you if you want. If you can't find stuff on it, you're having a hard time, let me know in the comments section. I'll do a quick little blurb on my next video showing you guys where that is. But you basically just take off your intake, your air filter, and a couple of those 4-inch ducts there. The proper name is slipping my head, my mind. But you take those off, and it's just real easy to get to. It took me about 10 minutes to get it off the truck, and then another 15 to 20 minutes of really intense cleaning. And I put that in there, and even with my broken ass turbo, it made a hell of a difference. And I mean, really, it made the truck run better with that turbo. So right now my truck is running phenomenal on this tow tune mode. It's really kind of comparable to how it was running on the street tune on here. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and probably pull over and put it back onto the street tune and just see how that runs, and call it a day. But I will, you know what, this video is really long. We'll do the street tune later. It was good making a video for you guys. I'll have another one out soon. I know I wrote to someone in the comments last night saying I was going to post this video last night. I'm glad I didn't, because I was able to film this part of the video. And I'm just going to get rid of the whole you know, end part that I had filmed yesterday. But I can't find my micro SD card adapter, so I'm gonna pick one of those up real quick so I can go home and edit this video and get it up online for you guys. Anyway, if this is your first time stopping by, don't forget to subscribe. And if it's not your first time stopping by, I'm sorry it's been so long since I made a video. I love you guys. Have a great day.